Well, joining us now in studio is Yehuda Shaffer, former Deputy State Attorney in the Financial Crime Unit of Israel's Ministry of Justice. Thanks for joining us, Yehuda.
Good evening.
Let's look a bit at these charges. Maybe help us understand the prosecution's thinking that we're actually only looking at 4 counts of rape in this case. The others seem to apply, as we said, soliciting rape, failure to prevent a crime. Give us a sense of how the prosecution may have arrived at this approach.
Well, I'm just assuming that the evidence here is not only the complaint, but of course the video cameras outside the room, and of course, if judging by what the press has been, what has been leaked to the press already, is some of the accused incriminating each other. And what we have here, we have 3 elders that will be charged with rape with
3 adults
with rape with grieving circumstances. So the circumstances which elevated from 16 years as the minimum, it can go up to 20.
Up to 20.
But the aggravating circumstances are that there were several people in the room when the rape was conducted. That she was 16. That she was drunk, and there was abuse of her inability to object even. All these are considered, each and every one of these on their own are considered aggravating circumstances which can elevate the sentence to about 20 years. Then we have some of the minors which just participated and will be, are accused of aiding and abetting and of indecent acts that they participated in, not full rape. And of course the invasion of privacy and the taking of the pictures, which is also a crime, and a more rare crime, which we don't always see in indictments, which is failure to prevent a crime.
Right. I want to just focus on that. We had a defense attorney in that seat a few days ago who was said this is, as far as he knows, the first time this has ever been used in a sexual assault. He said Margalit Hashefi in the Rabin assassination.
And even that was, of course, very rare.
Very rare.
But it does happen, and there is an obligation to prevent crimes. What is outrageous here, and when you read the indictment that comes out, is that nobody had any mercy, nobody had any compassion to actually try and stop this in any way, or try to suggest to stop this in any way.
But is it going to be hard for the prosecutors to read the minds of those onlookers and make the claim? They're surely going to claim they didn't know what really was happening.
No, I don't think so. I think they knew what was happening.
I'm not arguing. I'm telling you what the defense lawyers will say.
Of course. We do expect, as humans, that at least one of them should have ran out and called for help, or tried to stop, or tried to. We see this again and again in these cases that come out. First it was the Ayanapa case, now it's the Eilat case, and at least at the prosecution, I know this continuously surprises people how in such a situation nobody has and this is, I think, is in the indictment, or it was emphasized in the indictment also, how nobody had the compassion or the mercy to actually try and stop this.
Yehuda, the details that have come out of the case make it even sound worse than initially, especially the main perpetrators. They basically tricked this woman, lured her in.
After she refused.
After she refused.
They were courting in the pool earlier that day.
Right. So, I mean, so this was an aggressive rape case. But I have to tell you, you say the main defenders would get up to 20 years. I think a lot of people would say that is not nearly enough here, given that they will get time off and other things. And Israel and I could just imagine what some of those lesser charges, Israel just does not have severe enough penalties for the kinds of sex assault charges.
I think that's legitimate criticism. These things are very cultural. So our viewers from the U.S. might be used to much more severe punishments. Our viewers in Europe, the punishments are much less severe. In Scandinavia, a 1-year imprisonment or 2-year imprisonment is considered very high sentences. In the U.S., of course, we know that it's much higher. So I think Israel's somewhere in the middle. I think there is a valid claim. And maybe this case will be the case. There is a valid claim.
Well, that's what I want to ask you. Could this case be a trigger? And this is something certainly women's groups, but not just, have said for years, that there has to be severe penalties on these kind of cases, or this will happen again, because we do see. We saw the Cyprus case, which I'm not saying an exact parallel, but bears some similarities. But unless there's more severe punishment, we're going to see this scenario play out again.
Well, it's first of all, we have to wait. I don't think it's proper to speak about sentencing before people have been convicted, and we have to see who will be convicted of what. I can just take our viewers back, I think 30 years ago, to a very famous case in Shomrat, where Shamgar overturned an
Chief
acquittal.
Justice
Chief Justice
Meir
Shamgar
Shamgar.
overturned an acquittal of the then Haifa judge in this case where this girl in the kibbutz of Shomrat was turned into a just slept with by everybody, and nobody saw this as rape. They just saw her as prescriptiveness, and the Supreme Court said no, this was rape because you were taking advantage of this girl, and she had no ability to object in the end. And that was a landmark case, not so much in the punishment, but in the conviction and sending a message. An educating message. I think whatever happens in this case, I'm not sure about the punishment, but even if people are convicted and youngsters are convicted and their lives get ruined as well, this will be an important message educationally to stop these summer cases which keep on popping up, whether in Cyprus or now in Eilat. I think there is something wrong. I think the education system has to deal with it, but also the judicial system. And I'm hoping that this case, first of all, let's find out what exactly happened there. We don't want to prejudge anything, but assuming that the indictment is well founded on cameras and footage and other testimonies, this will be a chance to set to send an educational message.
We can only
protect women, such women.
Yehuda Shaffer, former Deputy State Attorney. Thanks for joining us.